Today on Mr. Bubbles. Alright guys, I'm here to do this easy peasy house wash. We're going to be downstreaming this one with a 6% mix. If you can see here in the corner, I taped up the what's that thing called, the Verizon box. And then also I just finished doing my 5-arounds here with all the neighbors, and right now I'm waiting to get a little bit more water here inside my my buffer tank. You guys can see here, maybe you can hear it on camera, it's going but yeah, I need about another 70-80 gallons before I start. And wanted to make this video. I've been wanting to make this video since last week for you guys. I've been thinking about this a lot lately here on the channel. You know, I get a lot of different comments and emails from you guys, and what I wanted to know is, here's my question. What is it that you, with your business, what do you struggle with the most with your pressure washing business, right? Is it, maybe it's sales, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's not necessarily getting customers, but maybe it's getting customers on a consistent basis, meaning like, you know, maybe sometimes you have 3 customers in one day and then 2 or 3 weeks will go by where you won't have any. Or maybe for you it's finance management or administration. You know, I would like to know in the comment section, please write it in the comment section, what is it for your business? What is your number one, your biggest struggle that you have dealing with in your business? Because, and the reason why I want to know that is, you know, I like to tailor my content to, well, the entire purpose of the Mr. Bubbles channel is to help you guys grow your business. And I would like to tailor my content to the necessities that you guys have. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I talk about this a lot. You know, you guys ask me about roof washing videos, and I have a couple on my channel. I don't do them a lot because I didn't even start doing roof washing until like my 4th, 5th year in the business. And, you know, I recommend you guys stay away from roof washing until you get, I mean, my recommendation is 1,000 houses under your belt, you know, washed before you get into roof washing. That's my personal recommendation. But, you know, it's your business. You can do whatever you want with your business. But that's the reason why I don't have a lot of roof washing videos on my channel, is because it's something a little bit more advanced. And my channel is for, you know, for guys like you know, where you're prepping to, you know, start a pressure washing business someday, or you're just now getting everything together, or you're just about to start, or, you know, you're definitely within, you know, year 1 or 2. That's like 98% of the audience here on my channel. And so, you know, I tell you guys things that are more appropriate for you as beginners, things that you're going to be able to do and handle. I give you guys, man, I mean, you look back on the channel, how many advice videos we've given on marketing, you know, for you guys to be able to be more consistent out there with your, you know, with your clients and being able to get more clients. You go back on the channel, I mean, that's the number one thing we talked about on the channel is sales and marketing, right? But, you know, that's why I want to know exactly what you know, what are the things, what are the weaknesses out there that you guys have, so I can create more content around that stuff. You see what I mean? So I'll give you an example. You know, when I started Mr. Bubbles 13 years ago, I started in 2012, we're in 2026. So, and I think May of this year, it's going to be 14 years for me. But when I started my business in 2012, you know, YouTube was not, of course, YouTube existed because I remember seeing YouTube around 2007, 2008. I'm not exactly sure how old YouTube is in general. But, man, YouTube, guys, was like nothing but cat videos, like funny videos. I remember a lot of cat videos, and then also just gaming, like a lot of gaming stuff. And it wasn't this, you know, like how-to type stuff. And so, you know, for me, the hardest part, my first 4 years of the business, was the operational side. You know, that's my personal journey, right? Like for me was figuring out how to do a house wash, how to, you know, do things on a professional level. And then, you know, eventually by the end of year 3, I learned how to use chemicals, right? Building a successful pressure washing business doesn't have to be hard. I've coached hundreds of guys in the industry and always noticed the same mistakes: underpricing jobs, wasting money on bad marketing, focusing too much energy on the wrong parts of the business. That's why I built an extensive pressure washing course called the Wash Life Mastermind. Guys, this is a complete pressure washing blueprint with over 20 hours of in-depth training, detailed notes, step-by-step checklists designed to help you grow a real business. Now, we're talking pricing, marketing, sales, systems, finance management, everything I use to build Mr. Bubbles into a successful pressure washing company. So if you're tired of fumbling your way through the dark and you're ready to build your business the right way, check out the Wash Life Mastermind today. And so, learning that entire process, I mean, I have so many stories, some of which I've shared with you guys. Well, a lot of stories I've shared with you guys on how I struggled in the beginning learning those things, right? Because when I first started the business, I've told you this, I bought a $50 pressure washer on Craigslist, but I was doing pressure washing. Like, I didn't know what downstreaming was. I didn't know what soft washing was. I didn't even know that, using chems to wash a house was a thing. I'll give you guys, a great story here. When I first started, one of the things that happened to me was, like, my first, I want to say, 5 or 6 machines that I used, I ended up frying my pump. And essentially what that means is I was running SH, I was running chems through my pump. All of the machines that I got, like my first 8 or 9, were all like, I told you the first one was Craigslist, but then I migrated to like your DeWalt's and your Simpsons and your Craftsman, things you could buy in Lowe's or the Home Depot. And, those, they come with the nipple for the injector, which is already, like basically built in to the pump. And that's when I first learned how to use chems. I was running my chems through my pump. You're not supposed to do that. Of course, I did not know that, right? Like, I didn't know that. No one taught me that. I didn't even know that that was a thing. So after about 4 or 5 weeks of using a brand new machine, boom, the pump is dead. I fried the pump because the chems are running through the pump and it's literally corroding all the parts inside the pump. And, I didn't know what a chemical injector was. I didn't know that you're supposed to use a chemical injector. Again, I learned everything by just doing it the wrong way. Of course, now you guys have YouTube, so, you can watch videos like mine and other channels where, we teach you this kind of stuff so you are able to avoid that stuff. But for me, like I said, it was all of the operational stuff, like things like what I just mentioned, things with the rig and like all the technical stuff behind the scenes on how to build a rig and how to maintain your equipment. And then the operational side, like how to wash a house, how to, wash a driveway properly so you're not leaving those lines. And, that for me was the hardest part. And that was the part where I focused all of my attention, all of my energy. When I first, started this business, I focused my first 4 years on mastering the field. Now, I will say this, I was very fortunate because in my 20s, I worked, from like the time I was basically 19 to 29, I worked in marketing and sales, right? So since I come from a sales and marketing background, getting clients and that side of the business to me seemed very easy. Where I struggled was just like what I said. And some people don't struggle in that. And that's why, I need the feedback from you guys so I can start molding the channel to the necessities that you guys have out there. I would love to hear. And, guys, I'm the only one who accesses my channel and my email. Of course, any questions that you guys got, that I have some great resources. One of the things I'm sending out to you guys right now via my email is the marketing, it's the marketing blueprint, but it's a pressure washing starter kit. It has like 6-7 files in it, including my, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the 5 rounds, the marketing that I pass out, the 6x9 postcards. I'll send you my design. You guys are welcome to copy it. It's the same design I've been using for 11 years now. So I highly recommend that because I know that it works. But anyway, guys, I can't wait to hear your comments on this. Let me know. Please let me know in the comment section what it is that you guys struggle with the most. But yeah, thanks for watching this one. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.